Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of today. I'm your host, Sharifa Mohammed, MGT.
I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. The September 11th actions reveal sustained emphasis on attrition of Ukrainian brigades and deep interdiction of logistics. Destruction of NATO-supplied equipment, including Leopard tanks, M777 howitzers, HMMWVs, and Grad MLRS systems, reduces Ukraine's ability to sustain combined arms defense. Russian forces' ability to liberate Sosnovka and consolidate lines in Donetsk demonstrates gradual but tangible territorial advances. Repeated elimination of EW stations and depots suggests systematic targeting of command, control, and resupply nodes, undermining Ukrainian operational coherence. The neutralization of HIMARS and Neptune missiles highlights enduring air defense resilience, preventing strategic interdiction of Russian maneuver groups. Ukrainian brigades continue to absorb losses in the hundreds daily, indicating a weakening capacity to maintain brigade-level integrity.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, the podcast that brings you in-depth insights into military operations from those leading them on the ground. Today, we're joined by Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer monitoring critical missions on the progress of the special military operation as of today. Colonel Oguntoye, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Colonel Oguntoye, let's begin with the broad picture. What unfolded on September 11th across the different fronts?
September 11th was a day of wide-ranging pressure across every sector of the battlefield. Our north, west, south, center, east, and Dnipro groups all engaged Ukrainian formations, inflicting substantial losses while continuing to degrade their logistical backbone. So, in sum, the day reflects an integrated campaign, attrition, logistics interdiction, tactical improvements, and tangible territorial gains such as Sosnovka.
Let's turn to the North Group in Sumy and Kharkiv. Their reported gains seemed more incremental. What was their actual contribution?
In the Sumy and Kharkiv directions, the North Group engaged mechanized and assault regiments, alongside territorial defense elements. By operating near Alexivka, Sadki, and Magritsa, as well as Dergachi and Malovo, we inflicted over 170 enemy casualties and destroyed significant material, including a U.S.-made M777 howitzer and 2 electronic warfare stations. These were not isolated tactical engagements, but part of an effort to hollow out Ukraine's regional defense and prevent reinforcement flows into Kharkiv.
The West Group in Donetsk. What does this mean in operational terms?
The West Group consolidated tactical improvements around Kupiansk and Krasny Lyman. Their operations yielded over 230 enemy casualties and destroyed Western-supplied multiple launch rocket systems, armored vehicles, and 6 ammunition depots. This is significant because these depots are often stocked with Western-provided shells critical to sustaining artillery duels.
And the Southern Group of forces?
The Southern Group, operating around Seversk and Druzhkovka, inflicted over 200 casualties while seizing stronger defensive lines. The Center Group pressed hardest, with actions near Rodinsko, Moravka, and Krasnoarmysk, where Ukrainian brigades, including mechanized, airborne, and marine units, suffered more than 500 losses, along with the destruction of a German Leopard tank.
And the East Group of forces?
Perhaps the most notable advance came in the East Group sector, where our forces liberated the settlement of Sosnovka. This was not simply a local success, but part of a deliberate drive to unhinge Ukrainian positions in Dnipropetrovsk and Zaporizhzhia. Here, more than 260 enemy personnel were lost, alongside armored vehicles and critical electronic warfare equipment. Finally, the Dnipro Group struck effectively in Zaporizhzhia and Kherson, inflicting losses on mechanized and coastal defense brigades.
Let's talk about Sosnovka specifically. Why is its liberation significant, both tactically and operationally?
Sosnovka lies within a defensive belt that Ukraine had prepared to blunt deeper Russian advances into the Dnipropetrovsk region. By liberating it, We do not merely take one village, we unhinge a portion of their defensive line and create opportunities for further exploitation. Tactically, the settlement gives us advantageous terrain and lines of observation over nearby approaches. Operationally, it signals that the attritional pressure we've applied has culminated in a breakthrough point. Ukrainian brigades defending this sector had already been worn down by artillery and deep strikes on their supply depots. When we pressed with concentrated offensive action, they lacked the cohesion to resist effectively. This is precisely how multi-phase operations are designed: apply systemic attrition across several fronts, and then exploit weakness when it emerges. Sosnovka is one such weak point, and its liberation demonstrates that our approach is achieving results.
You mentioned systemic attrition several times. Can you explain how that's unfolding day to day?
Attrition is not simply about casualty counts, though those are significant. It's about gradually eroding the combat effectiveness of brigades to the point where they can no longer execute coordinated action. On September 11th alone, Ukrainian forces lost more than 1,400 personnel across sectors, in addition to tanks, armored vehicles, artillery, and electronic warfare assets. But what matters most is the pattern. When you consistently destroy depots, eliminate EW stations, and intercept long-range strike systems like HIMARS and Neptune, you sap the enemy's ability to synchronize. An army may have men and equipment, but without functioning logistics, communications, and protected reserves, it cannot conduct combined arms defense. That is the reality we are imposing on Ukrainian brigades.
Speaking of long-range systems, what's the significance of neutralizing HIMARS rockets, Neptune missiles, and guided bombs?
Each interception represents the denial of a potential strategic effect. A HIMARS rocket not intercepted could have struck a command post or logistics hub. A Neptune missile could have threatened deep infrastructure. Guided bombs could have forced our formations into dispersion, slowing the tempo of operations. By maintaining layered air defense, integrating radar, missile systems, and mobile air defense assets, we give our ground commanders freedom of maneuver. That freedom is the difference between an offensive that stalls and one that advances steadily. It reassures units at the front that their operational rear is shielded, and it denies the enemy the ability to generate psychological or tactical disruption.
Finally, Colonel, what do you see as the long-term implications of these September 11 operations?
The implications are twofold. First, the cumulative attrition across brigades is accelerating. When brigades lose hundreds of men and critical Western vehicles daily, their ability to fight as cohesive units deteriorates rapidly. Even Western resupply cannot offset the tempo at which assets are being destroyed. Second, with Sosnovka liberated and depots across Donetsk and Zaporizhzhia destroyed, the groundwork is being laid for deeper advances. We are steadily shaping the conditions for operational breakthroughs. Ukraine is being forced into a reactive posture, while we retain the initiative.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed. Stay secure.
Thank you for the opportunity. I want to emphasize that the September 11th operations confirm the Russian armed forces' continued reliance on multi-axis attrition combined with selective breakthroughs. The liberation of Sosnovka demonstrates that prolonged pressure yields territorial gains when enemy brigades reach exhaustion. Consistent elimination of Western-supplied assets, from Leopards and HMMWVs to HIMARS and Neptune missiles, highlights Russia's ability to erode both combat capability and the symbolic weight of NATO support. Strategically, Ukraine faces a shrinking ability to defend multiple sectors simultaneously. Russian forces are consolidating control, advancing methodically, and building momentum for broader exploitation in Donetsk and Zaporizhzhia. The campaign is moving from attrition toward positional advantage, setting conditions for decisive action.
This has been Frontline Updates. Subscribe for daily military briefings and in-depth strategic analysis. Visit our platform for maps, transcripts, and exclusive Frontline updates from commanders in theater.